Okay.
Okay, go for it.
All right. See ya.
All right.
It's nice to see you back. Come over here, Drew. You met Drew before, but he had to go up north to visit his dad. He's back now.
I like crouching down here.
Yeah. He was in that station yesterday.
Good.
Down.
There you go.
Yeah,
there you go. We showed you his little hole in the wall, but then he's out front. I mean, Drew's all over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah.
So give us a call.
Yeah. Give him a call and give him a hard time. No.
Have a good time.
All right.
All right.
We'll see you then. All right, guys.
Sorry.
Let's rock and roll.
Bye.
We try to have fun around here, you know, because there's so many sick people that's hurting. It's not even funny. I'm reading some of your comments on this yoga ranker animal product thing. So I hope I answered that in the video this morning to help you understand the ridiculousness of gallbladder parts and taking things out like this. There's always been those that raised organic meats for health purposes, and you even have some YouTubers here that are still meat eaters. And I don't. Whatever your gig is okay with me. And the gig of working with people becomes another level. I am never for the suffering of anything. But when things are raised specific for this is the law of the land. You have to understand spirituality and consciousness really to understand that nothing has ever died. Even if I kill something humanely, that is considered death. And to some Hindus, this is why fruitarian exists, because you don't even destroy plants. Because if you're saying that I use animal products, I also use plant products. The only animal products I use is desiccated glandulars from raised organic animals that are killed humanely. And in the scheme of things, you know, it's all consciousness. Nothing dies. You can't kill anything as much as you think you can. It is understanding what consciousness is and what intelligence is. And I think physics will help you to understand that you can't destroy anything. It's just the way we get our emotions tied into some things. What Yoga Man was talking about is the suffering of animals at man's hand. That, to me, is very karmatic. One holy master told me one time that as the raising of animals and using them for food is a karmatic situation for them too. So this was a high holy man, you know, who wasn't really a meat eater, but did make a comment on that because I questioned that years ago myself. As a healer, though, and man has taken himself into some really deep levels of cell decay today. We're fighting with that. But understand that even from the humane side, no one dies. I mean, I look at it, and if I'm pulled over into the mind, I'm aghast at the slaughter Syrians has. I'm surprised no one's taken this guy out. Well, look, I just said that guy should be taken out. He's slaughtering his own people. But you know what? It's just another soul that's lost its way, thinks its power is over others. So sometimes soul needs to go on to another level of activity. You know, it's understanding consciousness just moves. Bodies break up and become other bodies. Nothing dies, nothing's destroyed. That is the grand illusion of this world, guys. So, sorry if I offend anybody in that way. Now, let's go on with some of these because today we have another no show. So, I can try to catch up here with some of your questions. And I appreciate them coming in. I really, really do. And I've talked about acid reflux before. Now, someone has asked me about allergies to certain fruit like apples or watermelon. I would be hard-pressed to say that somebody would have an allergy to an apple. An apple is probably the most balanced food on the planet. If you have acid reflux, an apple is really good for that. Pretty active, though. Watermelon is a red. It's aggressive. Watermelons are more aggressive than you would think out of a melon. So it might be aggressive on your lymph system, sweetheart. But if you feel like your body doesn't want them, you listen to your body. You always listen to your body. It makes a big difference in doing that. You know, healing is so much more than people realize, yet always keep it simple and you'll be fine. And just listen to that intuitiveness. I talked about that this morning. Listen to the intuitive side of yourself and your body. If it doesn't want something, okay, then go over here for a while. You can always come back. I was talking to a lady just now about herbal formulas. Sometimes an herbal formula, matter of fact, boy, maybe if I have time, I'll do a muscle testing video here shortly so you can see muscle testing, and I'll use Kathy out here and we'll do some muscle testing and show you how to do it, because then you can have someone muscle test you on these herbs. Sometimes an herbal formula will be good for you for months or years, and then your body's had enough. And then sometimes the formula isn't quite, you're not ready for that formula and your body doesn't want it yet. And then when you get your body a little cleaner, then it's ready to go. So learning how to muscle test has been good for that. I need to get through this one here. Would using your Heal LT help that? Now I did go over that one. That was good. Let me see here. Yeah, thank you. That was the cyber hug lady. I like that cyber hug. I do. Don't let some things get to you guys, you know. Keep on going down your roads. You're doing so great. You keep on going. This is, I was diagnosed with diverticulitis. I am 32 years old, average weight. I was wondering what you suggest. Well, that's, Kate, honey, the stomach and bowel formula is excellent for that. Look for other signs of connective tissue weakness. Look for fingernails. Look for spider veins, varicose veins. Look for hemorrhoids. If you start to see a connection, depression, if you start to see a connection between this, I would suggest taking something for your parathyroid to strengthen that parathyroid up, and it'll start strengthening connective tissue. At the same time, you're going to clean out those bowel pockets. You're going to clean that colon out in terms of on the wall. So that's where Heal All capsules are good, Lymphatic 1 capsules are good, and of course stomach and bowel, whichever one suits you, is good. If you're moving your bowels, good. Stomach and bowel number 1 is the one I highly recommend. Number 2 has a little Cascara Sagrada in it, if in case you just need a little help. What these formulas are designed to do is clean those pockets out of impactions. Some people do have impactions, like it or not, and you can get some old moldy stool out of the bowel wall. The mucoid plaque you've heard so much about. I've told you before, I have Jensen's colonoscopy, endoscopy here. You want to see mucoid plaque before and after the herbs. Beautiful example of that. He did not consume herbs before. A lot of medical doctors do colonoscopies and they say, oh, look, you took herbs and you stained your bowel wall. 90% of the people we detoxify do get black stools for a while. You do see that. So, you know, use these bowel formulas and get on the fruits, whatever ones that doesn't bother you too much. Stay away from the nuts anyway. Stay away from the seeds. Stay away from that side of that. If vegetables bother you too much, if it's real inflamed, then you want to do your vegetable juices and your fruits. Your subacid fruits would be real good, even your sweet fruits, you know, and start using those herbs to clean that wall off, particularly stomach and bowel, say number 1 or 2, and lymphatic number 1 capsules. A little aggressive, those lymphatic 1 capsules, but they'll start pulling on that bowel wall as well. If that's too strong, then you do your Heal All T capsules, which are a little puller, a lot of anti-inflammatories, a lot of healers, a lot of cleaners. And I would work that way, and then go to your kidneys, go to your adrenals, and always move your lymph. Always work on that side, no matter what else you're specifically going after. And you'll be okay. You'll pull your bowels out of that and strengthen the connective tissue in your body, because a lot of times bowel walls herniate, if you will, and then you start using that as a filler. Of course, all the white flour we've always used, brings that up. Here's one sweet thing. Here's got anorexia for about 7 years. You're going to have to work on your spiritual side, sweetheart. There's no question. But on the other side of this, if you live on a diet of at least 70-80% fruits and vegetables, and the rest is just cooked vegetables, you'll never have to worry about being overweight. You can throw that out of your consciousness and replace that with health. I think if you're overweight or you're too thin, either one, they're both problems in a lot of people. Just change that consciousness from trying to lose weight or gain weight to, I want to be healthy. Change it to a positive focus. And in that positive focus, there will be the spirituality, there will be the health, there will be the vitality, and your emotions will go on to another level. Definitely work on your adrenal glands, and definitely work on your kidneys, sweetheart, and really, get into that body, get on the raw. You'll never have to worry about weight, but you don't want to malabsorb yourself and you get caught up into those kind of fetishes because it's unimportant. It's unimportant what people think about you. It's unimportant. You're a divine soul. That's all that matters. You love yourself. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how thin or how big you are. This is all about love, and that's why I love all you guys on my YouTube. You are just so good. You're full of love. Yes, we're having some ups and downs with things, but, like meat products and stuff like that, it's not what you think. And so you have to lay some of that away and grow spiritually. This is a very inert universe. I can take you to places where the ecstasy will roll through your beingness, and it's just a whole nother level. And you start to see the oneness of all things, and that nothing dies. It's just transformed. But in terms of being thin, you don't want to be malabsorbed. You don't want to be thin, or you don't want to be big. You want to be perfect. And you already are perfect in consciousness, and just let that invade the human self, and start loving yourself. Spend some time with yourself, sweetheart, and find yourself a sense of balance. But also get your diet to about 60-70%, maybe 80% raw, and then 20-30% cooked, and see if you like that there, and stay there until you get stronger, and then you can dig deeper if you want to clean yourself out there. Don't worry about the calories. Don't worry about any of that. This is all an illusion. And you want to gain your center. You want to gain your joy. And to gain your joy is to not care what other people think. Detachment, as Buddha said. I have never heard of tonsils regrowing. Oh, absolutely. Many people regrow their second set. I had a guy, like I said, his third set. And that was amazing to me. He decided not to have him remove his third set. Yeah, wow. I thought the second might be enough, but amazing. And there are a few people that have grown a second set of teeth. Not their baby teeth, a second set of teeth. I find that very intriguing. I always figure if one Homo sapien could do it, why can't we all do it? This is going back to... what level could we achieve? Who knows? I don't know. Certainly interesting stuff. If anything, I hope my life serves to help humanity get their focus straight and then start having fun with deeper research of the levels we could achieve in the human consciousness. Because the elevation of the human consciousness is essential. Just from what Yoga Ranka was saying about the poor mother bear, these sort of barbaric practices are not welcomed by any higher consciousness soul. And you should know that about me too, Yoga Man. This is bad karma. But it's just one of those things. We live in a barbaric planet. Look at Syria. Killing its own people. Why? Because he wants to be a dictator. And Libya and all these places like this. The bell of freedom is ringing. By the way, Ron Paul, you kicked butt on Fox News this afternoon. Megan Kelly, I think it was you. You're good. I was wondering about you as a lawyer, but your interview with Ron Paul, I'm going to give you 10 thumbs up. Ron Paul, you came out just right. Your talk today was perfect. You continue with that kind of thinking, and you explain to the American people what's going on instead of taking off, and you're going to have a good chance. You really did good today. I'm proud of you, Ron Paul. I just remember in one of the videos I talked about the blood pressure. And so when you take a look at blood pressure, to me you have two different types. You have the stable type and you have the swinging type. Now, stable type of blood pressure. And check both sides, remember. Blood pressure, adrenal glands on top of kidneys. That's how they come in the body. That's the influence on the blood pressure, and that's what that means. Systolic is the adrenal glands, diastolic the kidneys. If you stay steady like that, you have a steady diastolic of 95, you've got some serious kidney blockage. It makes sense, though. You're probably young to have that kind of consciousness to put yourself up like that, so it's good, but you know you're fighting some kidney and adrenals. So you would want to work with that. Your kidneys are generally going to influence the adrenals in terms of that. Yeah, you're actually going to probably see some lower blood pressures. But if you're swinging, you cannot treat those with blood pressure medications. And I'm on these physicians who use these and don't take the time to find out who you are and what's going on. A swinging blood pressure, no way can you take this. No way can you control that. Same thing with swinging blood sugars. Best to live with a little higher blood sugar if you're asymptomatic than to take insulin and suddenly you wake up and now you're in the 40s or 50s. Can't do that. That game isn't worth playing. Better to play the detoxification game. That way you're directing your attention toward healing the problem. Now, swinging blood pressure, that's coming from your cerebellum here. This is lymphatic pressure. And this means your lymph system's backed up. Again, a kidney problem, but in a different way. The kidneys themselves, when they start to get inflamed and break down, that causes high diastolic, but a steady high diastolic. Consider it the pressure in your pipes. But a swinging one is coming from your cerebellum. You might notice some dizzy or equilibrium or vertigo problems as well. That would all be coming from the cerebellum. If you have no tonsils, that would even be worse. I think somewhere you mentioned maybe that would exacerbate this problem. So my guess is that it's coming from your upper spine there, your cerebellum, base of the skull. And sweetheart, you got to get your lymph moving more aggressively. Pull this out. Get those kidneys and adrenals fixed up, and you'll be in good. That'll come out of there. And if you have any genetic weaknesses in those tissues, they'll strengthen up. I would also use upper circum, probably brain and nerve, just to really go in there and power up those tissues a little bit. But move those lymphs, because that's a swinging blood pressure that'll swing with stress. It'll swing with kidney cycles. It'll swing with all those 1 minute lower, 1 minute higher. That's all the lymph system, and that's the cerebellum. Medical doctors need to learn that, because you can hurt yourself with these blood pressure meds if you swing yourself into hypotension, and that's not good. Not thinking blood. Let's see, or some kind of stone mucus, bile duct obstruction. Well, you know what? Detox is the golden key. Detoxification is always the golden key. I don't care what anybody says. No one can prove to me any different, because our reputation worldwide is strong on what people have done with themselves. And it's all detoxification. I just slammed botanicals with raw foods and said, hey, you mix those two most powerful things that God made, and you got a butt-kicking experience. As some of you already know. So you've done good. I really appreciate all that you've done, guys. Again, you asked me to do a video on the sun consciousness. Asked me to do a video on the lymph. I've done it. On my website is a whole part of a book series that I've started, but I find these videos so much easier. You know, I've written so many things through the years that really never, I mean, we used in manuals and we've written up a lot of things, but they want me to redo my book a little bit so we can put it in its second printing. But you know what, years of seeing people and doing these things, I'm a little wore out in that way. But I wanted to start a new series, and I've already started, called The Illusion Called Diseases. And that's my new book series, and it's going to be smaller books on each subject matter. The first up is the Great Lymphatic System, and I've put a lot of that on my website so you can read it. but I've talked about it over and over and over again on these videos. And what you're hearing on these videos is how you do it. You get your fruits, you get your fasting, you're fasting on 1 or 2 different fruits, you get your herbs, and you really move on that. Herbs are always going to be kidneys, always going to be endocrine gland, always going to be GI tract, and lymphatics. And then you can spread out from there. It's that simple. This one is good. And thank you so much. Who wrote this here? I don't have a name here, do I? But this is, oh, she's a Dutch woman. I like the Dutch. But a lot of Amish. I have a lot of Amish friends. I travel and lecture to the Amish lands all the time. I just have a great amount of friends. But whether you're Amish or not, listen, I don't know who's been diagnosed with fibromyalgia. Fibromyalgia, Lyme's, lupus. Oh, come on, guys. Medical guys, oh, God. This is all the same kind of stuff. You know, that's your lymph system. And you got lymphedema. I think that's what you're saying here. Obviously, you have lymphedema because you have, these are all lymphatic problems with acids accumulating in your body. And you're feeling the resulting pain from that, whether it's in the muscles, whether it's in the joint. I don't care. It's all location, location, location. Remember how simple the body is. A bunch of cells and 2 basic fluids. If you didn't know anything about the human body and you just detoxified yourself and you learned that you had to eat predominantly fruits and you take these herbs for detoxification, there's nothing you couldn't cure. It's that simple. It's so simple. It's amazing, and you guys are getting that. So, honey, just go down that road. If you can't do all fruits, you back up, you go forward, you back up, you work yourself down this road, depending how bad your lymph system is here. Always go for this. Now, her father died on the 45th from results of skin cancer. You died from melanoma? No, they probably killed you. Be honest with you, probably killed your father. I mean, I'm sorry, but skin cancer, that's an easy cancer. Excuse me. You know, it's all lymph cancers, though. I have to tell you, it's all the lymphatic system. So you see the connection here of your lymph system with your families. But what tissues are we talking about? What impacts your lymph system? The kidneys and adrenals. And I always throw in the colon, or the GI tract, not just the colon, the GI tract. You deal with those focuses, and your remedy is assured there. Can't lose weight. She's obese, 359 pounds. No eating disorder. That's because you have weak adrenal glands. You know, you can't do what you're saying here. You eat. She eats bread for lunch, cooked potatoes. You're eating fat. You're eating starch. You're eating polysaccharides. Can't do it when you're not metabolizing sugars at that level. You'll get full of fungus, start craving it. You just won't be able to get off of this, honey. So you want to use that parasite M. So control this fungus in you and get on those adrenals. If you have a little coldness, it's your thyroid. You add a hypothyroidism and adrenal weakness in there, and you can get very large. So my heaviest client is 700 pounds. And, you know, it's work to work yourself back out of this. Get off of those potatoes and get off of that bread. And start eating more fruits and veggies. Even if you have to cook your vegetables, okay. I'd rather see you do a little dead animal tissue, a little dead chicken or fish. Of course, it's inhumane to kill them. You know, people eat fish. You ever see how you pull a fish out of the water? And they're swimming, and they're kicking, and when you look in their eyes, their little mouth's going, help me, but no one listens, you know. Oh, yeah, but they like to eat fish. It's okay. I mean, if you're going to get into animal eating, you can go that far, or you can kick back and realize nothing dies, and that everything is here to help everybody else. You have to get at a certain level of consciousness, of course, but then those get higher are not going to eat too much meat. But I've seen some holy people eat a lot of meat, so it's all in that. But I'd rather see you eat a little fish or chicken or something besides the polysaccharides. I mean, especially the bigger you get, it's harder to do all raw. It's harder. I'm a 700-pound man. I've got real hard to do raw. I went to a fasting clinic. Hard. I think he's dropped to 250 pounds now. But still, it's been a trip. Poor guy, up and down, because your emotions are out of whack with the adrenals, your depressions with your thyroid, so you're dealing with those things, and yet the inner self is pulling you, saying, I need to do this, I want to do this. So it's all in all of us working together and helping each other with love and helping these souls through this. So, sweetheart, let me help you to get through that. I don't expect you to get yourself to 100% fruit, and not as big as you are. It's not going to work, but 350 is not that big. Okay, just keep that in mind and don't label yourself as being too big. So just focus on your fruits in the morning, your vegetables, even if some of them are cooked. Get away from these starches. All this is your kidneys here. All this fibromyalgia, the Lyme's, the lipedema. Jesus, you can go on and on with your stuff here. Squamous cell carcinoma. You know what? All that's fixable, sweetheart. All that's fixable. You get into detoxing your body. Change your attention toward health. Forget about the weight. Forget about your body. Focus on health. Focus on the positive things, the energetic things, the things that empower you. And then you'll have more self-control. And it'll work well for you here. There's salves you can get on the market to pull these basal and squamous cells off, but be careful about removing lymph nodes around the head. I'll show you some pretty pictures here that's not pleasant, where these medical doctors should have visited the jail for a while for what they put these people through before they died. You remove your lymph nodes and I can't get to that lymph system, you're in trouble, big trouble sometimes. Sad stuff. Colon problems. You became 85% blind in one eye. I read this. You've got about all kinds of things, sweetheart. 85% blind in one eye from herpes. Thank you, vaccinations. Thank you, smallpox. Thank you, pharmaceutical guys. What are you doing? Filling people full of HIV, herpes. Thank you. Talk about experiment. Talk about Mother Bear suffering. Look at what the medical modality's done with humans. Same thing, we're all laboratory rats in a big laboratory of the intellectual mind. Overtreated by, oh God. You can hardly walk due to huge edemic problems in the legs. You're in kidney failure. You got to get your kidneys online, sweetheart, your adrenals up, get your lymph moving, get your colon cleaned out. I mean, when you read this, guys, you see this poor lady suffering like crazy. Well, I can keep on going. I haven't even started with them. She's got more symptoms that fill the page. This is what you're going to see out there. A lot of these poor suffering so bad. But you don't have to suffer. You can stop this. Get off of these polysaccharides. Get yourself on this diet. If you can afford some herbs, get on some herbs and get your body fixed up, sweetheart. You can do this. You can win this. So hang in there. You're not that heavy. The docs have treated for everything. Now she has no faith in them. Well, no kidding. She has lymphatic cramping in the throat and scared about, oh man. Whew. Oh, let's see. Okay, I won't talk about that. She's had years of bleeding. Oh my God. High insulin levels. Let me see. She's an artist. She has love in her heart. She loves birds, flowers, singing. Well, don't crap my heart too much. Yeah, you're full of acid, sweetheart. So this is an SOS coming over to us. So, yeah, I'll give this to the staff back there and see what they can do to help you, okay? But you get on the diet, sweetheart. You got it? And you work yourself. You contact the office. I don't know if you're in... what country you're in right there, but you see if we can get you some herbs. Here's another person here, female, 43, 5'8", weight unknown. She had her tonsils and adenoids removed as a child, tubes put in her ears 3 times as a child. They probably gave you a lot of milk. Excuse me. God. You know, you got to move your lymph. You know, you're going to have a real clogged lymph system. That's what this is telling me. All up in the head area. Get this. Let's see. This person has had the thyroid removed 42 years ago. Oh, I was placed on 175 micrograms of Synthroid 30 years later. Can titrate off of it. Well, this is where I would use a glandular, get all on raw, and see if I can't promote tissue growth of whatever's left of that thyroid, and see if you can get a thyroid to halfway grow back on you. A lot of years down the tubes. So I don't know, you know, but certainly interesting. I don't know if I would probably shift to Armor and see if you did well with Armor. It's more natural, but where do you get Armor thyroid from? Yeah, I mean, you know, in the world of health and physicians and practitioners, it's a wild world, and some of you are going to see what we have to do sometimes. But I've reduced my office down to pretty simple. I think you know that, and the results we get are phenomenal. You haven't seen nothing yet to what I put on the YouTube for you. Cool stuff. But I don't know. I would maybe shift to Armor if you could. They probably took your parathyroids as well, so you're probably going to have to. I would supplement my body with a lot of kelp, hoping that I could utilize calcium. You'd be a big case for never doing meats, never doing acid foods, because the loss of bone and connective tissue would be something I would think that you would have a hard time repairing. That's where you'd really want to be good on a diet. When you remove vital endocrine glands, these docs just don't get it. You want to be very good in the diet, and then you'll live good and everything's happy. I mean, you won't have the vitality maybe you would with a thyroid, but certainly it's just a body. The vitality should come from you always, not your body. Dan, the RA man, someone asked me about RA today to talk about it, but I have with you, you know. The Essenes, I love the Essenes. Beautiful group of raw food people. You're getting into Zen Buddhism. I love the Zen. What was that? Bruce Lee said, tie two birds together, and even though they have four wings, they cannot fly. Or was that Shaolin? I love all that stuff. You know, I think whether you're Christian or Buddha, who cares? You know, enjoy everybody's belief systems. If you want to maintain yours, fine. It's when you start isolating yourself in your belief system and thinking that you have the only answers that your ego's got to you, or somebody's built your ego up, and that's not conducive to beauty and love and oneness of all of life, and that's really isolating you from the glory of God, despite what one thinks. You know, we have a lot of ego in Christianity and in all these. I was a Christian most of my life, but I'm not now. I'm not anything now but a God man. I don't want to be labeled because I don't want to judge anybody for what they do. I want to love them for who they are. So remember that. Now, the Essenes. The Essene Gospel of Peace is a good book. You know, it's more agnostic, and you get into the other Gospels. When you read these Gospels, especially the Gospel of Thomas, I heard that the other night on the History Channel. That was really some good stuff. I mean, when a God-man speaks, it wants to turn you on to the love of God, the love of the all. Whether you put a label on God or not, it wants to expand you and fill your heart full of love and ecstasy for the freedom and joy of who you are and the beauty of the allness. That's what's important, not the drama. The drama is the drama. And there's drama in every corner of this universe and in many heavens yet that you're maybe unaware of. But the drama is the drama. It isn't who you are. You know, get to who you are and you'll be good. You like the lady with the MS, I hope. Such a sweet soul, isn't she? She exudes beauty, I tell you. She was walking at the mall the other day. Incredible. Yeah. So I tried to answer all these. Forgive me for going kind of slow here, but I want to make sure I get these down because some of this, I've answered that for you. Yes. Is Steve, remember no crap. I love that. Yeah, I think you know now I'm a no crap kind of guy. You know what? I have fought so much for the freedom and rights of everyone, and both in health and in law with the IRS and stuff, that I'm a no crap kind of guy. Totally. Matter of fact, maybe a little too brutally honest, but to be honest with you, we don't have the time. I don't have the time. Let's get on with it. We're still playing games around this country here. Maybe that's okay. I don't know. I'm trying to step back from a lot of that. But Steve, this ocular fluid pressure, I tried to address that earlier today for you about the the glaucoma type of pressure. This is the lymph type of pressure. Get that out of there, my friend. That acid can break down the eye and give you MACD or some retina wrinkle and all kinds of new words they got out of here. But yeah, get that out of there. Pay attention to your colon. The relation of the colon, again, to the upper brain area, the transverse portion of the colon here, definitely related to the head. The iris shows this every time. We see it every time. And I tell you, even brain lesions have a start genetically in the gut tissue. But that's the embryo. That's the embryonic trunk. So really stay with getting the body healthy and focusing and moving those limbs. Get that pressure out of there. If you have to ear candle your ears, Steve, ear candle your ears. And pull some of this out that way and give some relief from that pressure. And then start cleaning up the bowels, the kidneys, and get this lymph to drain. And you'll be in good shape there, buddy. All right. Now, you hit it right on the head. Weak kidney and adrenal function. Yeah. Interstitial lymphatic constipation. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. I like that. No crap. It's true. You like my mango? Notice it's gone. Poor thing didn't have a chance. But then it was happy because I was so happy when it went down. I knew it was happy because we're all happy when everybody's enjoying each other. I'm sure when the rattlesnake's eating the mice that everybody's happy. All right, full heart. Thank you, sweetheart. I've seen other comments from you. Good soul, my lady. Thank you so much. Good soul. Let me see here. Yeah, I answered the bladder infection with the Heal All Tea. Yeah, this is a question. It's the same one that's got the thin issue going on, the anorexia. And she's saying, when I eat 100% raw fruits and leafy greens in a day, I cannot fall asleep at night. A lot of energy going into that little body of yours. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, I'd have to look at your case, your nervous system, your adrenals, the pineal gland in the brain. I'd have to look at these things in you and see if there's something out. When I was a monofrugivore, so to speak, I did not sleep. I lay my head down, I'm out of my body. And if I was struggling to even do that, I mean, if you practice out-of-body experiences, you will have a period of time where you will be awake. Because when you go to sleep, you don't want to fall asleep. You want your body to fall asleep, but you take off. So it's trying to, the first few months or however long it takes you, you're going to struggle between I'm awake, but my body needs to rest. Because you're not your body. But your body needs to rest. How many of you had experiences where you felt you were awake all night, but your body was sleeping? That's because you're the soul. You're the consciousness. You're not part of the body. You're only using it. And so, one can struggle with that. Then the energy of these raw foods. I mean, I had so much energy, I actually had to stop because it was that or leave. And I was told abruptly what I had to do. So I had to balance out. That's all I can say. Being more balanced has helped me as a practitioner immensely. I've seen people that get too strict, they get out of balance, and you've seen that too. The id gets too out of balance, and it's going to happen at times. But keep it balanced if you can. You'll do good that way. Self-discipline. Too much aloneness can breed out of balance. I was there, so I try to keep myself in balance that way. The power of consciousness is so strong at a level like this. Kind of like hard to visit the Anomi Lok and maintain a human body. For this Radhaswami man, I can tell you, if you've ever been to those higher heavens, you have to be careful. There's a certain level of height that you won't come back. I don't care who you are. You can't do it. I've always prided myself being on very strong and powerful in the God force and giving it. And I thought I could take about anything. Yeah. Till God said, well, let me take you closer to me and let me show you. Man, so powerful. Things are so powerful out there. Amazing. The beauty of it all. Now, you say something, I cannot fall asleep. So if I eat some bread or cereal or oatmeal during the day, that never happens. Well, that tells me you're full of fungus right there. So it could be a fungal activity going on in you that's keeping you alive and awake, and the raw foods are shaking you up. So I'd take a Parasite M formula for a while and get my fungus under control. Get away from the starches, because if you're concerned about anorexia, you want to keep a thinner body, you would never eat those foods, because you're eating the very foods that fatten people up. You want to eat the foods that make people healthy, not fatten them up. And grains are nothing but fattening foods, polysaccharides. Nothing healthy about a polysaccharide when the body requires monosaccharides. So I don't care what the American Dietetics Association says. Where's your proof, American Dietetics Association? You're keeping fat on people. What we've done is aberrated our genetics so much that when we get thin, we freak out. Some do. And some freak out when they put on weight. The body's so aberrated now with all these generations of grains and dead animals that some people actually believe we need them. It's going to take a while. It's going to take a while, this whole big mix, to get the Homo sapien back on track to where his physiology meets his dietary issues. It's going to be a while. And you guys are the advanced forerunners. Isn't that cool? You guys are ahead of the pack and vital. Your role right now is vital for the future of this planet. If it survives 2012, you're going to be the ones, the way showers. So what you're doing now, you will really see how that's going to be vital to the future of man. So good work, all. Good work. Yeah, I've gone over some of these several times. Now, how do I remove skin tags? Well, I consider them a form of parasitic. So I would do, again, the Parasite M. If you have moles, skin tags, warts, things like that, you want them to fall off, you're going to have to stay on a Parasite M or some anti-parasitic, antiviral, antifungal type herbal formula for a while. And you want to use the herbs, not silvers. You want to use the herbs to do that. A balanced chemistry. The herbs are also nutritive, and you also have other factors. You know, the cool thing about herbs is that one herb can do 1,000 things. Well, maybe 1,000, but certainly 20 or 30. I mean, that's the beauty of botanicals. Now, this herb does this, but oh, look, it can do this, and oh, look, it can do that. Remember the story about lobelia and Dr. Christopher looking for a homeostatic when someone was bleeding, and they used lobelia, and sure enough, it stopped the bleeding. This one is having a question. I see a lot of you on here, sweetheart. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Kaike? Nice name, nice picture. You had elevated hypertension syndrome or episodes or something, and after having my fourth baby, my blood pressure is between 145 over 95. Ooh. Yeah, to 170 over 117. Holy crap. Check both arms, too. You want to see which side's the worst. But it doesn't matter, I mean, because you got to fix both sides. But just curious, you're going to have a different blood pressure on each side, honey. This is enough of the stress of my kids. My pressure is elevated in the morning and very high at night. My hypertension meds really don't work, and I feel like, okay, out now. Don't wait any longer. This has been since you were a kid. Clean your lymph system. She's always suffered from hearing and head congestion. No kidding. Break this loose. The colon is really involved here, but definitely kidneys and adrenals. You really get on that fruit. You detoxify. I don't care how long it takes you. Get this out of that brain. Or you're going to be, where did I park the car? What house am I in? What's my name? No, no, no. Don't take yourself there. You want to get that out of there. Your migraines. She had her gallbladder removed in her 20s. She's had 2 fibroid surgeries. A lot of severe cramping. Suffered from mild depression, and bowel movements were every other or every couple of days. And I've had bowels move every 30 days. I have a Northwest airline pilot that he moves every 15 to 17 days, and sometimes up to 45 days without bowel movement. And you know what I asked them? Do you eat dead animals? Can you imagine not moving your bowels and you eat dead animals at least once a day? Imagine twice a day. That's like throwing a dead animal on the highway out there in 100-degree temperature. Not too good. Not too good. Well, you too. I mean, everything from a child has told you that you had lymphatic problems. Everything from the swollen tonsils and adenoids to the tubes in the ears. They probably fed you a lot of milk or formulas. This is to super clog your body. Hopefully you don't have sulfur in there. That makes it more difficult to detoxify the body because they treat these conditions with antibiotics. Oh, this is a merry-go-round of an endless, and this is the 21st century. It's okay the past year killed 2 of his kids way back in the early 1900s, or whenever it was, Jenner. So, I don't eat a lot, but I seem to be gaining weight. Well, you might be gaining some water weight. And this is true with this last Dutch lady. You might gain a little water weight here initially because you're so acidic. You're going to have a little edema coming on you maybe. So just don't get depressed, don't get upset. Get strong, get focused, and you'll come out of this, see? Trying to eat raw. Well, 80%'s good. Don't try to, to be the savior right now. You do the best you can, but get up at least 70% to 80% raw with some cooked vegetables and work yourself through this. Some headaches, no migraines. Time to go? Okay. I'll close this off by finishing this up. And, I wake up every morning with head congestion, feel so bloaty, have low blood pressure. There's your adrenal glands right there, sweetheart. Real low adrenal glands. Your kidneys aren't functioning well, not filtering. You're bloaty because you're holding water. You're interstitially, lymphatically constipated, obviously. You're backed up all through the body. GI tract, gut, esophagus. Same with this other lady that felt the esophageal closing and stuff. Get this out of there. Mostly fruit. Keep working on that. Lots of lemon water. Okay, go, go, go. It is possible to send you, send me your lab work if you wish. I'll take a look at it. I can discuss that. I'll teach you all about lab work. I'm going to teach you everything I can and get you savvy. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sorry, I kind of had to go kind of fast, but gosh, I'm trying to keep up with you now. You guys are keeping me hopping now. But that's good. That's good. And again, I'm going to retouch on these things and retouch on these things. Chris likes to know what all I talked about so we can get that on for you. So I'll do that. And, may the blessings be. You have a great, great night. And thank you so much for your time and viewing these videos. And I'm proud of every one of you guys, no matter what your questions are to me. I'm proud that you even have the awareness to ask some of these questions and that you guys are exploding in your joys. I love that. And you're exploding my joy, having you all like you are. So thank you again. You all, I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.